Alright, welcome to GIS 300 in the online capacity. This is the landing screen you will see when you first create your account. You will have access to a group here. FOR 242 is my freshman class, GIS 300 is yourselves. So I'm going to go through and recreate lab number 2, just as a demonstration of how this works. So I'm going to go to Map, and that's going to bring me to a new map. And I'm going to add data and search for layers. And I'm going to find Fort Kent wetlands. If you find yourself stuck at this stage where you're looking at My Content and seeing nothing, you may need to go to this drop down here and go to My Group, and that will show you these data sets. And hit a little plus to add that, and then Fort Kent Salted Roads. And that brings in both of the data sets. Now I'm going to buffer each one of these and then do an intersect. So I'm going to go to the Contents tab here. First I'm going to go back and then Content. And I have these two layers here, Table of Contents, just like ArcGIS. So the first thing I'm going to do is the buffer. And this little button here all the way to the right is Perform Analysis. So I'm going to use the tool Use Proximity, Create Buffers. Allows me to choose the layer. It's the one I just clicked on, of course. I want the units in feet, and I want this to be a 60-foot buffer. And there is a little hidden subtle thing here, Options, and I want to select the buffer type Dissolve, so I don't get a bunch of little tiny buffers. And I do not want to use the current map extent, and there's this thing called Show Credits down here. And the way this online software works, there is a certain amount of credits cost to the analysis done in the cloud. This is going to require 0.812 credits. You've been given 500 by default. We can add more later. So I do not want to use the current map extent. I want to analyze the entire data set for Fort Kent. So I'm going to hit OK and run analysis. That is going to run in the cloud, in the background, and I can go on to my next step just as it is. So I'm going to buffer the wetlands now. Again, perform analysis, use proximity, create buffers. A distance in feet of 75 with the options Dissolve, and use the entire area, run analysis. That too will run, and when this completes I'm going to do the intersect. So there's the buffer for the roads, and the buffer for the wetlands will come shortly. And there's the buffer for our wetlands. Now you can see the overlap, and up here is another analysis tool, same as this, but perform analysis, and I want to manage data, and I want to do an overlay analysis. My options are intersect, union, and erase. I'm going to use the intersect on the two buffers. So both of these buffer on roads, buffer on wetlands. It's going to name itself intersect of wetlands and buffer. It's long, but it works. And I'm going to again uncheck use current map extent and run the analysis. And that is going to return those areas that are within 60 feet of the road, meaning a center line, plus 20 feet for the width of the road, and 40 feet beyond that, and then 75 feet around the wetlands, which includes the rivers and ponds. That's going to take just a minute to process, and when it does, I will turn the others off, or I'll turn them off now. And you'll see a shortcoming in our current data set here, where the Fort Kent roads does not include this little spur that gets you from Shop and Save onto Pleasant Street. So there's our buffer. turn off the wetlands, and that's showing just the same areas that you had when you originally did lab number 2. So that is a complete recreation of that in ArcGIS Online. So once you get done, you're not going to be sending me a PDF or a map, you're going to be sending me a link to your own ArcGIS Online document. So first, save, and then share. And check GIS 300, and then you can copy that link, say done, and paste that link into the Blackboard submission, and that will be it. So if it prompts you to share layers as well, check yes for that, and that will allow me to see everything that you've done.